Hey, one of the best ways to be successful with fantasy football is finding those mid-round gems, those players in the middle rounds that turn out to be studs for your fantasy team. Who are they here in 2019, and why am I wearing a tuxedo t-shirt in March? Coming up right now. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Today we're talking some 2019 fantasy football mid-round gems, mid to late round gems. There's a few names out there that could really provide some huge value to your fantasy football team. Now, I have pulled a lot of this data from fantasyfootballcalculator.com. If you haven't checked out that site, it's going to be linked in the description. Go check it out after this video. But also, if you're new here, you're going to like it. Why? We don't sit around and talk a bunch of BS. We get into it, and we get into it quickly. You already see the names right there on the side of the screen. That's who we're going to be talking about in this video. So if you're new here and you're looking for some quick information, hit that subscribe button for us. But for now, before I get into the list, I mentioned it in the opening. Why am I wearing a tuxedo t-shirt in the middle of March? Well, we're about 20 subscribers away from 30,000 at the time of this recording, and I like to party. So I'm going to party early because I'm excited for 30,000. Really appreciate the support out there. This community, this Headliner Nation is growing, and we are greatly, greatly appreciative. Now, let's get into some names of some mid-round gems here for 2019 fantasy football. All right, first guy we're talking about, Chris Godwin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now, his current ADP is 56, so depending on your league size, he's right there 5th, 6th round-ish. And this guy needs some serious consideration here in 2019. We already know there's some personnel changes in Tampa Bay, right? Yep, no more Deshaun Jackson, no more Adam Humphries, and Chris Godwin was sneaky good last year. He had 59 receptions, 842 yards, 7 touchdowns in 2018, and now all of those targets that went towards Humphries, went towards Djax, they're up for grabs. Now, there's going to be some other names in the mix. However, I really like Chris Godwin this year. He's somebody who could provide huge value for your fantasy football team, especially if you like to go heavy running back early and you're looking for a little bit of extra depth at wide receiver here in the middle rounds. Definitely a great option. Now, Bruce Arians is the new head coach there in Tampa Bay. We know he likes to air it out. We know he loves his slot receivers. Now, there's a chance, there's already rumors going around that Chris Godwin could slide into the slot this season. If that's the case, watch out. The last time Arians coached, yes, it was Larry Fitzgerald. He played the slot for the Arizona Cardinals. He averaged 108 receptions, 1,100 yards, and 7 touchdowns a season. That would be huge value in the middle rounds. Now, is Chris Godwin Larry Fitzgerald? No, Fitz is one of the greatest of all time. However, the production could be there in a high-powered offense that we know is going to throw the ball a lot. Definitely love some Chris Godwin here in 2019. All right, next up, Kenyon Drake, Miami Dolphins. Right now has a ADP of 60th overall, so 5th, 6th round-ish. Again, he was somebody who I faded hard in 2018. That sounded bad. He's somebody who I really didn't like in 2018. But it got even worse than I had expected. Adam Gase did not seem to give two craps if you owned Kenyon Drake. Even if Kenyon Drake was on the team, Adam Gase really didn't seem to care. Who did he care about? He cared about old man Frank Gore, who really, I think it's like 2 years shy of playing intramural football with Jesus back in the day, because dude is old. And he's out there out-touching Kenyon Drake on a weekly basis. Does not need to happen and may not happen this year. New coaching staff coming in. We have new head coach Brian Flores of the formerly of the New England Patriots. And he brings over that winning mentality. Now, they already kind of have the whole tanking for Tua going on. It kind of, seems there. But they do have some decent pieces, and I think Kenyon Drake gets a better opportunity this season. Frank Gore, he's gone. Does the new coaching staff believe in Kalen Ballage? Is he somebody who really eats into the workload? Not as of right now. Kenyon Drake really just hasn't been given a huge opportunity. He has averaged 4.7 yards per carry for his career, which is a great average. The problem is he has a lot of negative plays. He needs the extra touches on a game-by-game basis in order to break one of the big ones, because he's more than electric, more than capable of doing it. I like Kenyon Drake this year. He's somebody who, if you go heavy wide receiver at the beginning of your draft, could provide decent value here right around the 5th or 6th round. All right, next up, Tyler Lockett of the Seattle Seahawks, whose current ADP 66th, same area, 5th, 6th round-ish. And he had a decent 2018, didn't rack up the receptions, had 57 catches, 965 yards, but had 10 touchdowns. He finished as wide receiver 18 in PPR leagues. He finished ahead of the likes of Kenny Golladay, Jarvis Landry, Allen Robinson, Alshon Jeffrey. He had a great season. Now, coming into 2019, does Doug Baldwin come back, and is he healthy? Is he a thing once again in Seattle? Entirely possible. And if he is, he will pull the defensive coverage away from Tyler Lockett, giving him more one-on-one opportunities. We already know Tyler Lockett can win those one-on-one opportunities. He's the big threat play maker in that offense. They really don't have a solid number 2 after him and Doug Baldwin. He's going to get a lot of looks this year, and I really expect Seattle to continue pounding the ball on the ground, opening up the run game. Love Tyler Lockett, a mid-round selection for you that could have huge value for your fantasy football team. All right, Mike Williams up next to the Los Angeles Chargers. Right now, current ADP right around 70, so 6th, 7th, 8th round-ish. And the guy had a great 2018 and really has an opportunity to build on it here in 2019. Finished with 43 catches, 664 yards, and 10 touchdowns. That's huge numbers from him for as far as touchdowns goes, but can it continue here in 2019? Well, Tyrell Williams no longer in town. That's somebody who we had to worry about last year. Now he's playing in Oakland with the Raiders. Do we really, worry about Hunter Henry coming back? Possibly. He could slightly regress, Mike Williams that is, from the touchdown perspective, but I really, really expect an increase in both receptions and yardage, and that could really make up the difference for the amount of touchdowns he could lose possibly to Hunter Henry with an ADP of 70. It's a former first-round pick, and we know that Phillip Rivers is going to throw the ball a ton. How much does he throw it? Well, he's thrown for over 4,000 yards in 10 out of the last 11 seasons, and has thrown more than 25 touchdowns every year since 2008. They're going to throw the ball in Los Angeles, and Mike Williams has an opportunity to absorb that added target share in that offense this season. Mike Williams is somebody who I'll be targeting in a lot of my fantasy football drafts this season. All right, next up is going to be Robby Anderson, the New York Jets, Jets, Jets. And he's somebody who's very intriguing this season. Right now, current ADP at 81. Same area. 7th, 8th round-ish, depending on your league size. And he's somebody who's pretty popular, right? He's popping up on a lot of people's lists here as of late. And deservedly so. The guy has a great opportunity coming here in 2019. He had a decent year, more towards the back half of the year, ended with 50 receptions, 752 yards, and 6 touchdowns. 336 yards and 3 touchdowns of that came in the last 4 games of the season. He really finally started to mesh with Sam Darnold. They had a whole offseason to work on that chemistry. They did bring in Jamison Crowder, another weapon to that offense, and yes, they also signed Le'Veon Bell, which is there to really help the passing game. That defense is going to have to pay attention to Le'Veon Bell in the backfield. What does that do? It allows more single coverage on the outside. Robby Anderson is maybe second to Tyreek Hill when it comes to yards of separations on deep throws. The guy is an absolute burner, and he can do it in a blink of an eye. Does he do it here in 2019? Entirely possible. Now, he does have some pending legal issues that should be cleared up around July, so we have time to find out what's going to happen with that. It sounds like he's going to be good to go for the 2019 season, and if he is, he's definitely somebody you need to look at in the mid-rounds. He could be someone who could win you your matchup on a weekly basis by himself. Next up is going to be Sterling Shepard of the New York Football Giants, current ADP 107. So we're starting to break into the double-digit rounds here. Decent 2018 for Sterling Shepard. Ended up 66 catches, 872 yards, and 4 touchdowns in 2018, but now there's no Odell Beckham Jr. They did add Golden Tate, which is a decent option to that offense. We already know Saquon Barkley's in the backfield, and he's going to be commanding a buttload of the defensive attention. They're going to be paying attention to Saquon Barkley and forcing the Giants to beat them with Eli Manning down the field. Can they do it? Sterling Shepard has that built-in chemistry. Yes, we know Evan Ingram, if he can stay healthy this year, is going to be able to pull some of that defensive attention away from the middle of the field. His middle and underneath routes are really going to open things up for Sterling Shepard. The guy is a crazy, crazy athlete. He is a great, great talent. He's struggled with migraines and injuries in the past, but if he can stay healthy, if Eli is the quarterback, is Eli the quarterback? Do they draft a rookie in the upcoming NFL draft? We really don't know for sure yet. But depending on all of that and how it works out, you're not really investing that high of a pick on Sterling Shepard for somebody who could get close to seeing double-digit targets on a weekly basis. I like Sterling Shepard again here in 2019, especially at the discounted price that you can get him at. All right, I had to throw a quarterback in there, so let's talk about Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. Right now, current ADP 139, so you can get him, late in the drafts, 12th, 13th, 14th round, whatever it is. He's somebody who could have huge value, especially if you miss on all the big names there at the beginning and you really load up with, running backs and wide receivers. He had a decent 2018, threw for a career-high 3,885 yards, and he's rushed for at least 6 rushing touchdowns 3 straight seasons. He's somebody who's definitely involved around the goal line, which is weird because they have Zeke Elliott in the backfield. Still, Dak calls his own number at times, and that provides extra value for your fantasy football team. Now, he also gets a full season of weapons. He struggled at the beginning of 2018. It really started to change once they got Amari Cooper from the Oakland Raiders, and he really started to develop chemistry with him. Now they have Michael Gallup entering his 2nd season in the NFL. Does he take a step forward? They signed Randall Cobb, and I know a lot of you guys out there are saying, so what? It's Randall Cobb. He sucks, and he's always hurt. And that's entirely true. However, this could be the season that if he stays healthy, he provides them another solid weapon. Somebody kind of in that Cole Beasley type of role. We already know Zeke has been, getting more involved in the passing game with over 70 receptions last season. Definitely a career high from him. And they're going to have to move the ball down the field here and really start to develop things in this offense. People's jobs are on the line now in Dallas, and Dak Prescott has, plenty of weapons at his disposal to put up solid numbers. Now, with Zeke in the backfield, we know the defense has to stay honest. That's going to leave more one-on-one coverage on the outside, and it's really going to allow Dak at times to pick defenses apart. I really like Dak Prescott this season, and if I miss on one of those early quarterbacks and one of those big name quarterbacks in the mid rounds, I'll be hanging on and waiting for Dak Prescott because I think he's somebody who could be a solid, consistent starter for you here in 2019. All right, last guy on the list, Ronald Jones of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now, current ADP of 153. So should we be drafting Ronald Jones here in 2019? I have the answer for you. That answer? Abso-freaking-lutely not. Do not touch Ronald Jones. I had to throw him in here just to try to make sure that people understand. They signed Peyton Barber back to a 1-year deal just because they don't like Ronald Jones. Don't go out there and listen to people trying to make themselves look better by telling you to draft Ronald Jones. Why? Nobody wants Ronald Jones, and until he actually produces on the football field, he will not be near a roster of mine. Now, if it's a dynasty league and you have a spot at the very end, or you acquire him in a trade and just to sit on the bottom of your bench, that's something different. If you're looking for a redraft league, a season-long league that's this season, as in 2019, yeah, hard pass on Ronald Jones. All right, so those were a few of my mid-round gems and Ronald Jones here for the 2019 fantasy football season. There's a lot of names left out there to cover. We still have a lot of time to cover them. It's still early, but we're going to be talking almost about every single player at one point here in the offseason, trying to get everybody ready for the 2019 fantasy football season. If you have a question about somebody that I did not talk about, throw it down below in the comment section. If you disagree or agree with one of the takes that I have on one of these players, by all means, throw it down below in the comment section. We are the most interactive channel on YouTube. Other channels out there will say, hey, we answer every question and comment. Yeah, you do, with like 1 or 2 words. We usually do our best to go in depth, not only give you an answer, but give you a reason behind it. Why? We're trying to build credibility. Anybody can throw an answer out there, but give me the reason why you give it, and you start to earn respect and credibility. That's what we're all about here on this channel. We greatly appreciate the support. If you're new here, consider hitting that subscribe button, and if you do, let us know down in the comment section so we can also welcome you to Headliner Nation. It's a community that's maybe by now almost close to 30,000. It's why the tuxedo t-shirt is still on. But I really appreciate the support out there. Make sure you hit us up on Twitter. Follow me right there. The Twitter handle's on the page. Would love to talk to you guys there. Also, check out the description of this video. Lots of links to other social media accounts that we have. And we'd love to be able to touch base with you on one of them if possible. Really appreciate your time. You guys have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you later.